Every year, over 1/3 of all food produced for human consumption is wasted. That is a staggering statistic. It represents millions of tons of perfectly edible food ending up in landfills. This isn't just an environmental disaster, it's a moral one. While millions face hunger daily, we discard massive amounts of food, often due to a fundamental misunderstanding of date labels. These labels, while seemingly helpful, often mislead consumers into discarding perfectly good food. This misinterpretation fuels a cycle of waste that has far-reaching consequences. It strains our environment, wastes precious resources, and perpetuates food insecurity. Understanding the truth behind these dates is crucial to combating this global crisis. We need to shift our thinking from rigid adherence to dates to a more nuanced understanding of food freshness. This involves trusting our senses, recognizing the limitations of labeling, and adopting practices that prioritize both our health and the health of our planet. By taking action, we can begin to address this critical issue. Date labels on food packaging are often misinterpreted as definitive expiration dates. This is a dangerous misconception. Most date labels, such as best by or sell by, are not indicators of food safety. They primarily serve as guidelines for peak quality, a suggestion from manufacturers for when the product is at its optimal flavor and texture. The problem is that these dates are often arbitrary and lack standardized definitions. This inconsistency creates confusion for consumers, who are left wondering if food is safe to eat past a certain date. The result? Perfectly good food is discarded out of fear, rather than actual risk. This confusion stems from the lack of clear regulations and the proliferation of different date phrases. Sell-by dates, for instance, are intended for retailers to manage stock. Best-by dates suggest when a product will taste its best, but don't indicate safety concerns. This ambiguity contributes to the massive amount of food waste we see today. Contrary to popular belief, most foods remain safe to eat well past their printed dates. This is particularly true for shelf-stable items like pasta, rice, and canned goods. These products, when stored properly, can last for months or even years beyond their labeled dates without compromising safety. The key to determining food safety lies in utilizing your senses. Sight, smell, and touch are powerful tools for assessing freshness. Look for visible signs of mold, changes in color or texture, and any unusual odors. If something looks, smells, or feels off, it's probably best to discard it. Remember, our ancestors relied on their senses to judge food safety for millennia before printed dates appeared. Trusting your senses is a return to a more intuitive and sustainable way of interacting with our food. Don't let arbitrary dates dictate what you eat. Section 4. Exceptions to the rule when dates matter. While most foods are safe to consume past their printed dates, there are exceptions to the rule. Perishable foods like raw meat, poultry, and seafood are more susceptible to bacterial growth and should be handled with greater caution. It's crucial to adhere to the recommended storage instructions and consume these items within a few days of purchase. Similarly, prepared foods such as salads and deli meats have a shorter shelf life due to potential bacterial contamination during the preparation process. Unpasteurized dairy products and fresh squeezed juices also fall into this category, as they lack the pasteurization process that kills harmful bacteria. It's important to note that certain foods, like infant formula, have strict expiration dates that should be strictly followed. These dates are regulated and ensure that the product retains its nutritional value and safety for infants. Section 5. Tackling the problem. Solutions for a sustainable future. Addressing the global food waste crisis requires a multifaceted approach. One crucial step is standardizing date labels to reduce consumer confusion. Implementing clear and consistent terminology, such as "used by" for safety and "best if used by" for quality, can empower consumers to make informed decisions. Another impactful solution is removing date labels altogether from certain food categories, particularly shelf-stable items. This encourages consumers to rely on their senses and reduces the likelihood of discarding edible food based solely on dates. Furthermore, improving food donation policies and practices is essential. This includes incentivizing businesses to donate surplus food to food banks and shelters and enacting legislation that protects them from liability concerns. By making food donation easier and safer, we can redirect edible food to those in need.